Hello, everybody. My name is Lindsay Schroeder, and I'm a spiritual wellness mentor. I'm a priestess, and I want to talk to you guys today about a really important but also like kind of funny topic for me. I've been a part of an inspiration practice around selling more or talking about your offers more, especially on Instagram stories. And so they've been sending out suggestions of how to sell your offers and what you can be talking about to inspire you. And today, the suggestion that I received really made me laugh. And it's because I actually believe the absolute opposite of it. So it definitely did inspire me to speak to it, but I wanted to do a little bit of a longer form discussion on this. So the prompt was, why working with you is the only option if a client wants to achieve X. And so the idea here is that on Instagram stories, you are selling your offers and telling people why they can only get this specific result or experience with you. And I actually believe the opposite, 100%, 180-degree opposite of this. So I am a spiritual wellness mentor. I am an intuitive business coach. I'm a mindset coach. I'm a priestess. And there are so many ways for you to achieve the results that you can achieve with me, with other people in many other forms. And so I actually believe the exact opposite of this. And I want to talk a little bit about this because this has been a really difficult aspect of marketing and of sales for me personally. Coming into the entrepreneurship, or what I like to call soulpreneurship, from the soul, but being an entrepreneur, following your dharmic calling. One of the things that I've really battled with is how to differentiate between bro marketing tactics and even like some types of psychology based marketing practices that are just so out of alignment for me. And I'll give you an example. When I first started coaching, I took a program that I was really, really excited about. And one of the main encouragements that they had about discovery calls is to have a client pay right then, right there on a discovery call. Give them an incentive to get their credit card, get them to put a deposit down, give them money off, give them a pay in full discount or bonus. And so I tried that. In one of my discovery calls, I, offered an incentive, and I wasn't pushy, but I was definitely like very focused on, let's make this a transaction. Let's get paid on this. Let's get you to say yes. Let's talk about those objections. And afterwards, when I was going through it again and really thinking about it and feeling into it, it was so out of alignment for me. And that has 100% informed how I now do my discovery calls. So even though it's not a recognized or encouraged sales practice, at the beginning of my discovery calls, when someone gets on a call with me and says, I'm considering working with you in a private coaching container, and I am booking this call to learn more about you, learn more about the program, ask my questions, any of that, I start off the call with letting them know there is no incentive for you to make a decision right now on this call. I will not ask you for your credit card information. There's no bonus. There's no discount. This is a conversation between you and between me, and we're learning and we're figuring out if we are the right fit together. Now, is the practice of discounts and encouragement and the pressure of time, is that a negative practice? Not necessarily. It was just not in alignment for me, and I'll explain why. For me and my work, one of the main reasons why I can get such phenomenal results in private coaching with my clients is that I am building a container of sensitivity, vulnerability, honesty, trust, and I am building that safe container from the moment we start interacting. So, for instance, that might be on a social media platform, where you might be hearing me talk about another client's experience or what I've just worked on today. And you're hearing this from a very protected space of each person's privacy and their own truth and their own vulnerability. Unless it is a testimonial directly from that individual with their face or their voice or their name that they have fully identified, they are comfortable putting out there. And a lot of my clients are, because they're so in their power after our work together. They love doing testimonial calls and putting their face and their name behind it, because they look at the old version of them and they feel for other people in that space and place. And they found a solution that really worked for them. And they want to share that so that if anybody else feels like they felt or are dealing with what they dealt with, that you can find a leader, a mentor that can support you through what they went through. But from the very beginning of our interaction, whether that be on social media or in a direct message, or if that discovery call is the first interaction, or you're hearing me on a podcast, I am building a safe container for us to work in. And it is due to that safe container that we can dive into vulnerability a lot of times faster, easier, more efficiently. You understand and feel that I can hold that vulnerability and that safety, not just for the remainder of our coaching container, but indefinitely. That I am going to honor that information that was shared, that I'm going to hold those recordings in privacy, that I'm not going to be telling other people about your personal trials, tribulations, and struggles enough or in a way where they can identify you if you are not wanting to be identified with that, if you're not empowered and embodied on a testimonial call, sharing that truth for yourself. And so for me, the pressure of make a decision right now, give me your credit card information right now, that doesn't work for me. That's not the way that I make an aligned decision. And so let's tap that golden rule. That's not the way I would like to be treated. So that's not the way I treat other people. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't people who get on a discovery call and say, here's my information, run it. Can we do my intake call right now? I want to get started. I'm ready. This discovery call was more just a formality. That's definitely happened. I've got on a discovery call with someone who wasn't following me on social media, was not on my email list, and it took us less than 30 minutes to realize that we were that perfect fit, and she wanted to get started. So I sent her all the information. She made her payment, and 30 minutes later, we got back on a Zoom call, and we dove right into her 90-minute intake call and started extracting all the things that we wanted to work on, and if I had a magic wand, what we would bibbity boppity boop, and we started her program right then and there. But it was her empowered choice. It wasn't because she was going to save $500 or $1,000. It wasn't because the price went up after we got off that call. It wasn't because she had her back to the wall and had to make that decision. She got to make that decision from an empowered place. So I digress and I tell you all of this because I want to come back to that Instagram story prompt of telling your audience why they can only get those results with you. Now, I'm not saying that's not true for anyone out there in the social media ethers. I'm sure there are product providers, service providers, all different types of entrepreneurs or anybody selling anything out on social media where that would really work for them of why can a client only get that with you? But for me, that's just not true. There are so many different ways that you can receive these results or these benefits. So let's talk about a specific benefit. For instance, a lot of the work that I do is around conscious creation of the self. So I look at this in two parts. To consciously create the self, we first need to understand how to get rid of things in our paradigm. And we have to understand how to do this consciously, but also unconsciously and subconsciously. So we need to be able to clear things out that are no longer serving us. So those patterns that supported you in fight or flight or in trauma or in difficulty or in the space of survive, those are not serving you in a space of thrive. So we have to learn how to get rid of things that aren't serving us. And then we have to learn how to create, how to root down, how to build a foundation or fully identify and align with and become new versions of self. So how to think new thoughts, how to feel new feelings, how to create new behaviors or stack new habits, and how to be held accountable and how to not only shift, but actually reprogram and rewire. So these are amazing benefits that I offer to my clients at every step of my offerings, every stage of offering, all the way from Vault Access, which is my low ticket offer membership. For $111 a month, you can come and join our amazing community, and you have access to over 10 spiritual training programs, over $15,000 worth of spiritual education, and you get to join us for live events and be a part of the community, all the way up through my group coaching, my masterminds, and up to my creme de la creme offering of private coaching in 3, 6, or 9-month containers. Regardless of which way you work with me, the benefit of being able to consciously create yourself, to choose who you want to be and how you want to show up, and learn the practical as well as energetic tools to not just make that shift mentally, make that shift consciously, but shift and rewire and reprogram in a subconscious and unconscious way so that your autopilot takes that on for you and continues to move you forward. We are shifting and reprogramming and rewiring and realigning everything from our magnetic core all the way up through the unconscious, subconscious, superconscious, and conscious mind. Now, my little corner of the internet, my programs, my offerings are not the only place that you can gain that benefit. You might gain that benefit through working with a podcast or reading a book or taking someone else's program or a digital offering or an ebook or a subliminal messaging or working with a hypnotherapist. There are so many ways, a multitude, a myriad, a plethora of ways that you can receive and achieve those benefits. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can only receive those benefits by working with me. What I am going to tell you is that nobody else is going to teach you in the way that I will teach you. No one else is going to say it in the way that I say it. No one else is going to embody it in the way that I embody it. Nobody else is probably going to swear as much as I would share. Nobody else is going to be able to tell the personal stories and the parable, the anecdote, the way that I do. And so what I really want to impart upon you, if you've stayed with me for this entire video, if you were curious about this topic or interested, or, I kind of caught your attention on talking about something like telling your community, this is the only place for you to receive this benefit, or not aligning with that. What I do want to share with you is that when you choose to work with a coach or a mentor, you are not just choosing to work with their modalities, their skills, their certifications. You are choosing to align yourself with their energy, with their delivery system, with the way that they make you feel and the way that they hold you. Also, what they've been through. So my clients, my soulmate clients who are attracted to the work that I'm specifically offering in the way that I'm specifically offering it, love to hear it in the way that I'm saying it, love to work in my community, love to drop into previous years worth of trainings and education and offerings. They love to have humor and rawness and realness in there. They love to oftentimes come from the perspective of the black sheep of the family, the one who is breaking generational curses and is doing it differently, the one that didn't always fit in when they were little. A lot of times my clients really love the infusion of the practical and the energetic, that I am very spiritual, very intuitive, very psychic. I'm a channel, and I have quite a bit of clairs and gifts, but I also ground this in a very three-dimensional perspective. We want to talk not just about psychic activation and intuitive tool development, but we also want to talk about the practical habits and accountability to change every aspect of yourself, a quantum shift, a quantum leap you might add. So that we are working mentally, we are working physically, we are working energetically, spiritually. We are blending the practicality with the energy so that you can find that perfect blend, that perfect balance for yourself, so that you can not only receive and achieve those benefits for yourself, but when you are done with whichever program, whichever container you are working with me in, you get to keep not just those answers to a specific question that you've asked. Which job do I take? Or how do I navigate that relationship? Or, is it time to let this friendship go? Not just that specific question and answer and problem and roadblock, but that you are identifying a process for connecting with yourself, your own practicality, your own intuition, and weaving and consciously creating your own ability to create the life that you desire, to be your own leader, teacher, mentor, because my work is not about telling you, it's about supporting you in remembering, supporting you in identifying what you know inside yourself, being able to listen to yourself more fully, more confidently, so that you can create the life and dreams and businesses and relationships in the way that really serves and suits and supports you. So, bottom line, on my Instagram stories, when I am selling my offers in alignment and integrity, I will not be telling you that this is the only place, the only space for you to gain those specific benefits. Do I think it's a pretty great place and space to gain benefits like becoming the conscious creator, reprogramming and rewiring your subconscious, attuning yourself to your guides and ascended masters and that which you believe in, God, angels, universe, Father, Mother, God, Mother, Father, Goddess, the God within, the Trinity within, the different aspects that you believe in and align with? I desire to support individuals who are really interested in cultivating self-love, self-awareness, embodiment, shifting from the knowledge into the being so that who you are being is magnetizing in the life that you desire. Let me know what you thought of this. Drop it in the comments. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram so that you can see how I am selling and what I am selling on my stories. You might want to check out my TikTok as well, and I hope to get to know you a whole lot better. Bye, everybody.